right? I'm excited for being here today. And I hope you guys are as fired up as I am. Why? We have life, right? But not only that, we have the greatest opportunity, which is WFG. So you guys should always be fired up every single day because WFG is not only an opportunity, it's a privilege. So I hope you guys are super fired up because you guys are in for a treat today. And I know it's not Christmas, but I like to give away gifts, right? So I'm going to give you guys a lot of information today. And a lot of times everybody always say, you know what, I've always wanted to be somebody. But can I explain something to you today? I always knew I was going to be somebody, right? We are all destined for greatness. We're just looking for the right place and the right environment to be in so we can go win big. Let me explain something to you a little bit. We are seeds, right? And anything we get accustomed to is our environment. So you have to make sure your seed is planted in the right environment so you can win. So every single one of you guys that are on this call today, you're destined to be great. But you just have to be in the right place at the right time so you can win big. And right now is the easiest time for anyone to go make millions of dollars. Right now is the biggest time for every one of you guys that are on this call to go win big, right? So everybody that's been casting out their nets, I hope your nets are big, right? I hope your nets are big because now it's time for you to go all in. Everybody needs you right now. I hope you guys understand that. Somebody has to retire. Somebody has to go to college, send their kids to college. Somebody has to get out of debt, and somebody wants to retire. Do you know what you have in your hands? Do you know how bad people are looking for us right now? But are we talking enough? Are we being secret agents? Are we actually being real WFG agents? Right now is not the time for you to be a secret agent. You have to go win big. And I just wanted to put that out there with the pandemic that's going on. We have the best platform for you guys to go out there and win. So sorry if I come on fired up. As I said again, I am always fired up because I'm a superhero, which means I have my cape on. I need to go save somebody's life. So somebody on this call will be saved today. Somebody on the call will be saved. So I hope each and every one of you guys got your pens and your notebooks ready because this is all about going to the next level. Right? This is a full-timers meeting, and I'm super excited to see each and every one of you guys on the call, but I want to give you guys a little bit about myself, right? Not too much, right? But just a little bit. So here it is, born and raised in Jamaica. I am not from the US, but let me explain something to you though. What I know is that it requires you to come in and put in some work. Everyone here has the freedom to go out and achieve anything that they want. I'm from Jamaica where I was born and raised in the ghetto. When you wake up in the morning, there are dead bodies lying outside. You just got to walk over it and go to work. So there's no excuses as to why no one cannot win in WFG, right? Because it's not, you can't do it. You have to make up your mind that you can win at whatever it is that you want to do. So coming here was because my mom and dad came to America. And I just want to give you guys a little bit of an insight. I've only been in the business coming up on 3 years, right? But let me tell you something. No, age is just a number, and so is your time in the business. It's just numbers, right? It's all about the work that you put in. It's all about the hours that you put in. Because everybody asks me, how are you going so fast? It's because you have people like Don Charlier, who I'm super grateful for allowing me to be on the call, him and his wife. And, you know, and his leadership, Nikki Cannon, for allowing me to be here today. But they have paved the way for us. So why should you move slow? Why should I move slow when you have people that did years and years and years of clearing the path? My job now is to come in and speed. Your job is to come in and speed, right? Not drag your feet, not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's not hokey pokey. You got to go to work. Right? So coming here, and mommy and daddy came here to give me and my family the opportunity to be free, but they were still working 3 jobs, right? They were still working 3 jobs, still struggling every single day. And growing up in the Jamaican household, you know, sometimes you can't say certain things. So I told my mom I never wanted to be like her when I grow up. And I almost got a boot to my mouth. And I didn't mean it like that. I just didn't want to be working 3 and 4 jobs and still, you know, complain about money. But how many Americans are doing that today? And that's the American dream, right? That's the American dream. Have a nice career. They tell you, go to school, get good grades so you can get a nice career. Well, let me explain something to you. I have 2 degrees that I would never use. I graduated from New York University with a degree in biology. I'll never use it. And I graduated from National University with my MBA, and I'll never use that degree. So again, it's great that you get it so that you can actually give them what they're looking for, their satisfaction to say you graduated. But you have to do what you truly want to do. Because when I came in this country, I've been here for about 15 years, going on 16, and I've been illegal for 11 out of the 16. So if you're sitting here and you're telling me you can't do something, it's a choice. I had no papers for 11 out of my 16. And I can speak about it now because I am grateful for what it allowed me to go through, right? I had to go through something so I can teach people how to grow through it. Everybody wants to go to the top, but they don't understand. You have to go through the struggles so that you can teach people how to go through it. I teach my agency this every time. I said, you have to go through the pain, but don't allow it to get to your brain. Do not get traumatized by the pain that you feel every day, because you need it to survive. You need to go through it so you can teach your kids how to overcome it, how to deal with it, which are things that they don't teach you in school. So if we don't learn how to handle those things, there's no way we're going to be able to handle what God has in store for us. Because if I didn't go through the struggles of not being able to do things the way I wanted to do it, because guess what? I've done so many things, right? I came here, no papers. I still was able to go and learn how to play basketball. In 3 months, I became one of the top basketball players because I went to high school 1 year, and the schools came and scouted me. And the only school that gave me an opportunity without papers was New York University, right? And I was able to go to school full time, be an athlete full time, and I had to work full time. So let me ask you a question. How many people would have made an excuse as to why they couldn't do something? But here's the deal. It's the reasons versus your results. You can either complain about all the reasons in the world why you can't do something, while you can focus on the results and the outcome of what you're going to accomplish from why you're doing what you're doing. So all I focused on was, how can I get an opportunity to go through and go to college and play basketball? Because after I was done, I graduated with a degree in biology to go to medical school, but where was I going to get the money from? No papers. It was going to be a struggle. So at the end of the day, taking care of everything, I was now able to join the military to create a foundation. I wanted to be more disciplined. I wanted more, right? I couldn't work a job because after graduating from college, guess what? I went out to different jobs for interviews, and they were telling me that they were going to pay me what I was not worth. And here's the deal. You only settle for what you don't feel you deserve. And I was not going to take those job positions because I spent way too much money to go to college just to get below what I'm worth. So again, you have to understand your true value, or else you're going to settle. So I didn't settle. I went out and I became a bartender. Why? Because that's the only thing that could pay me what I was worth. I only get paid based upon how I treat my clients, right? So at the end of the day, when I got into to bartending and, the food industry, I learned customer service. I learned customer service because that's what pays me the most. Learned that, joined the military, did so great, right? I was in the military for 5 years, and I made E6 in the military in 5 years. 3.5 years, I made it to OCS school, and I turned all of that down. You know why? When you understand your worth, you know that you will never settle. So I could have stayed in. I could have re-enlisted. I've shattered records in the military. But here's the deal. The military didn't appreciate my work ethic, and the military will never pay me what I was worth. So at the end of the day, you can settle for being good, or you can go be great. Because I could have stayed in the military, but I chose not to because I didn't want to be a double-headed dragon. So a lot of people are playing WFG, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? Well, guess what? WFG will never pay you at your full potential because you're limiting yourself as to what you can do. You have a backup plan, and WFG is not going to pay you that way. So people are like, how did you go full-time so quick? I was already full-time in WFG, and I was part-time military. Mentally, I was full-time WFG. Part-time, I was the Navy. I was constantly thinking about WFG. I was constantly building WFG. On my lunch break, I was making phone calls. You know why? My mom was still working 3 jobs, right? And not living the life that she wanted. But when my grandmother passed away was when everything changed for me. My grandma had 23 kids, and nobody had the money to put her to rest when she passed away. Not one. So, and everybody were working 2 or more jobs. If you ever watched the Living Single movie, my mom was that person, that lady that had 7 jobs. That was my mom, right? My mom was working quite a few jobs, and it was still a hassle. But I realized it wasn't the money that she was making. She didn't understand the concepts of money. Because no matter how much you work, if you don't understand the concept, that's where you're going to miss out. So guess what? When I joined WFG, in no time, I was able to buy my mom a home. I was able to get my mom to only work one job. And at 52 years old, my mom will be retired this year. Done and done. Let me ask you a question. How bad do you want this? How bad are you willing to go to work for those that you truly love and care for? Because then you will no longer make excuses. You will make adjustments. No more excuses. It will always be about adjustments. How can I adjust my situation? Don't ask why, right? Something is happening. Ask, how can I do this? And that was me throughout my time being here. I never said, why me? I said, how can I overcome this? Because I know it's a part of my progress. So I challenge each and every one of you guys. So while being in the military, I was doing real estate. I still do it, but I focus on the financial field. Why? Because you see, a lot of people don't understand everything starts with a foundation financially. And if you can help someone financially, then guess what? You've done your part. People are like, I don't know if I can do this. Anybody can do anything they've made up their mind to do. And WFG is for people with goals and dreams. If you have no goals and dreams, you will never survive in WFG. If you don't know who you truly are before coming in WFG, you can't win. But the good thing is WFG allows you to find out who you truly are. And a lot of people walk away from our business because they're afraid of personal developing. They're afraid of reading. They're afraid of growing. They're afraid of finding out that they can be truly successful. Because a lot of people are afraid of success, just so you know. And if you're afraid of success, you can see yourself being successful and you quit just because you are not ready. You can't seek the heat. So I challenge you today to seek the heat. So giving you a little bit about myself, like I said, I came from Jamaica, straight out of Jamaica, right? Born and raised. I just knew I was going to be somebody. I knew it. I was just waiting for the right place. Joined the military, right? This is the Rear Admiral. I was the number one person that, in the military that got to walk and meet the Rear Admiral in the military to talk about some changes in the military. So it's not just WFG that I came in and was giving 150%. I've always given everything 150% of my time. I have never, ever, ever tried to play 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because you will never get the full potential if you're all over the place. I used to be that way. You name it, I've done it. I've done real estate. I have my own cleaning company. I had my own nail salon. I've drove Uber and Lyft. You name it, I've done it. You name it, I've done it. You know why? Jim Rohn said, if you want to be successful, you got to have multiple tools in your tool jar. Because if one thing don't work, another will work. So a lot of you guys are not going all in because you're afraid of the unknown. But why be afraid of what you don't know? Go all in. That's the only way you can find out if you're going to get the best out of it. Pretty simple. So I want you guys to focus on going all in. After you get off this call today, is no more I can't. Give you a little joke really quick. I talk to my niece all the time at 3 years old about the word can't, right? Can't is not a word. And I tell her that every single day. And I was in a meeting and she asked me to come and play with her. And I said, I cannot. You know what she said to me? She said, excuse me, can't is not a word. And I literally had to catch myself because I'm the one that told her can't is not a word. And then she flipped it. Let me ask you a question. How many of you guys are telling your kids to not do something, but then you turn around and do it, right? Think about it. Believe in yourself. Go big, go dream big, go do all these different things, but we don't do it. Right? Sometimes we have to backtrack a little bit and understand the reason why you're stuck in the business is because you're telling other people to do things and you're not doing exactly what you tell them to do. Right? You got to be a do it first leader. And that's what my niece taught me yesterday. She said, you tell me not to do something, you can't do it either. And that's just the simplicity of our business. If you are going to win big in this business, you got to go lead from the front. And it's going to be challenging, but I'm going to give you 5 things that you really truly need to focus on within our business to win big. If you're on this call today, these 5 things, if you focus on them and if you just write them down and just find one that you're going to work on every single month and master it, your business will change forever. Because a lot of times we come in business and we truly don't know where to start. But I'm going to explain these 5 things and why you have to really tune in and work on these things so you can go be great. Because every single one of you guys on this call can be great, right? So here's the deal. Confidence is very, very big. Can I tell you something? If you are not confident in our platform or anything in life, you will never, ever, ever win. Confidence is everything. Because your client doesn't buy you, your products, they buy you and how you speak to them about your products and services. They don't care about the products. They care about how you confidently talk to them about what it is that you have to offer every single time. So the first thing in order for you to increase your confidence, you got to ask yourself, how much am I talking to me? How often am I talking to myself? How often am I pouring into myself? You have to pour into yourself more than your trainer does, your leadership does, because they can believe in you. But if you don't believe in you, how are you honestly going to win? It's going to be really hard, because we can believe in you, but if you don't believe in yourself, there's no way you can win in our business. So you got to be constantly communicating with yourself. Talk to yourself every morning. What are your daily affirmations, right? How bad do you want this? How often are you challenging yourself every day? Because if you don't challenge yourself, you can't challenge your team. If you don't challenge you, you can't challenge your team. If you don't know how to talk to yourself, you definitely will not be able to talk to your team. Reading, this is one of my biggest things. This right here, a lot of people want to succeed, but here's the deal. You have to learn, do, teach. Learn, do, teach. And if you are not reading, then you will not be able to comfortably be able to explain to your team. You will not be able to explain to your clients how things work. You will not be able to, if you're not reading the business manual, mastering the business manual, the system builder, right? A lot of people say, well, I can't be successful. I don't have the tools. You have every single thing you need to be successful in our business. You have the system builder, right? You have the business manual. Everything is there. Take the initiative to read. They said, if you want to keep a person illiterate, put everything they need to know in books. Do you know how many books we have on our platform that you can read? I'm just going to give you a few. Wealthy Physician, right? The Pocket Knife. All of those things, those and your ability to understand how to explain what it is that you do. So now you flow. So now your confidence grows in the business. Then guess what? You can close anybody. Do you walk in a room and feel like you can close anyone? Let me tell you something. When I walk into the office in San Diego, the guys are there and they're like, oh, Andrea's here. When you walk in a room, do you bring a presence? Right? Is your energy right? Because that's all with confidence. If you're not confident, it lacks energy. You lack energy. Confidence requires energy. And here's the deal. Even when you sit with your client, no client wants to be in a cemetery. Let me explain what I mean. You cannot be dead. You got to be alive. You got to bring the energy, right? You have the old fashioned and you have the new fashion industry. Which one do you want to be a part of? Not the one that lack energy. Because the one that lacks energy, you're going to lose your clients to me, right? Because when I go in there, I'm going to match the client's energy or bring the client's energy up. The choice is yours. So you need to have energy when you walk in a room. When you speak, I think that's why Don got me on this call, because he asked me a question and I answered. He's like, man, who is that? When you speak, you have to speak with that confidence. And if you don't, it's all a self-belief issue. You got to read. Right? You got to talk to yourself. You got to know what you're worth. You got to know what you want. You got to have a solid business plan. You got to have a solid personal plan, right? All of those things drive your confidence, because now you know where you want to go. Now you know what you want to do. But without doing those things, you will never be able to close a client. Because every time I talk to my new agents, I said, hey, close me. Close me on an IUL. Well, you didn't read this book. Go back and read this book. Because if you read the book, guess what? It increases your confidence in how you speak to me about the product. If you call the companies, guess what? Ask them for some brochures. Compare and contrast. It's all about the reading. People ask me how I move so fast. It's my confidence. That's it. It's my confidence. It's super big. And doing what you said you were going to do. Can I tell you how this can either make you or break you really quick? If you tell yourself you're going to do something and you don't do it, it tears you down so much that you're afraid of going at it again the next month. My philosophy is just be like Nike and just do it. Just do it. Go all in, right? Erase what you already know to learn what you need to know. If you say, you know what, I'm going to go do my 3-3-30, do not go to sleep until you have a massive action plan on how you're going to get that 3-3-30 done. Because if you don't do it, guess what? Next month, it's going to be a challenge for you. It takes away from your confidence. Then you can't force your team or encourage your team to do something because you're lacking confidence. So it's super important. If you put something down on paper, knock it out. You know, every single one of my milestones are on paper. And if I don't hit them, I don't feel good. If I don't hit them, the same way how you will have a reward for doing something good, right? Like the ladies, we love our purses, right? You do something good, you're going to go get a purse. So when you don't do what you say you're going to do, how about you return that purse, right? How about you bring it back to the store? How about you take away something, right? The same way how you have a reward system, have a punishment system. Because you didn't do what you say you were going to do. So I challenge you. Yes, you reward yourself for being great. You deserve it. But what about when you don't deserve it because you did not keep your promise? Right? What are the consequences when you don't do what you say you're going to do? Super big. My team knows the deal. We have minimum standard of excellence. And every single month we hit those minimum standard of excellence because we say we're going to do what we're going to do. And that's what we mean. If we don't do it, we're going to have a talk. Right? If we're halfway through the mark and we're not where we are, we have an emergency meeting. Hey, what is the game plan? Where are we going? If you know you're not where you want to be at midpoint of the year, it's the 6th month of the year. Are you even close to where you want to be? And if you're not close to where you want to be, what are you doing about it? Are you going to be like, okay, next month I'll start over. Oh, next month. Well, guess what? The year will be done and you won't even be close to where you want to be. So you have to stop and self-reflect and ask yourself, am I doing what I said I'm going to do? For the last 6 months? Am I on track of accomplishing saving over 100,000 for the year? Am I on track of becoming an SMD within the next 6 months? Right? Stop pushing it off and do what you say you were going to do. And if you don't do it, then put yourself in a position to where there are consequences. So confidence is everything in this business, every single thing. Because if you're not confident, you cannot close me. If you're not confident, you cannot close anyone, right? Which now leads me to the biggest part. This is my favorite, right? Work ethic is everything. And Nikki wanted me to talk about this because I have a lot of millennials on the call, right? And even some people that are pretty much seasoned as well. But what I want you to understand is a lot of people like to get comfortable. A lot of people like to get comfortable, right? Once you hit something, you hit your goals, you're good. Well, let me explain something to you. It's just like your car. If your tires are not in alignment, your car will be hard to move. If your internal goals and external goals are not in alignment, it's easy for you to get comfortable. You hit senior marketing director, you hit EMD, right? You make 100,000, you make 250, and you're fine, right? You're good now because you hit the external goals. What about your internal? Who on your team do you want to see go across 250? That is what's gonna make or break you. Let me explain something to you. Your accountability is your insurance to your success. A lot of people are afraid of accountability because their work ethic is horrible. They don't do anything, so they hate zeros. They hate goose eggs, so they don't send their leadership accountability, right? Get good and fall in love with sending accountability. It will increase the things you do every single day because nobody wants to see zero. If you're not accountable to yourself, then who's going to hold you accountable to becoming successful? Think about it, right? What are you doing every single day? You look over your child's homework, you're supposed to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do every day so that they can get good grades, so they can graduate and go on to the next level. Let me ask you a question. Who is reviewing what you're doing to grow your business every single day so that you can be successful? I'm an SMD. I'm doing okay. But I send my leadership, my accountability every single month, okay? And I send my leadership, my accountability every single day. My question to you is, why are you not doing it? You're afraid of zeros. It's okay if you get zeros. Just do not be comfortable with getting zeros because then now zero become a habit. Now zero become your standards. And your work ethic is what determines your standards. If you don't have any standards, it's because your work ethic is not right. And it's super, super big. The only people that win big in this business and keep going are those with a work ethic. Can I tell you my schedule? Are you guys sure you want to hear my schedule? I have a couple of people that are really upset with me with my schedule, but I go to bed anywhere between 3:34 and I'm back up by 7:38. Worst case scenario. Worst case scenario. 4:30 a.m. in the morning is when I go to bed. I'm on the East Coast, by the way. 4:30 in the morning, and I'm up either by 6:30 or 7:30, back on track. You know why? People are like, you don't get tired. How can you be tired of something you've never had? How can you be tired when you never used to having anything? That's the question, right? When you've never had it before, there's no way you could be tired. You should be sleeping, and breathing WFG if you want to be successful. The business is not hard. It's just the person that works the hardest is the one that actually see the value behind what it is that we do. And WFG is an equal playing field. You notice I didn't bring anything up about being a lady and being single in the business because it doesn't faze me. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's all about your work ethic. I promise you, nobody on the call would outwork me. You know why? Because I am too goal driven. I am driven towards my goal. I will hit CEO by the end of the year. How am I going to do that? I have to put the work in. It's not just going to, you know how people like, I'm going to pray to God. I want this goal. And I pray to God that you got to go to work for it though. He's going to put it in your way, but you got to go work for it, right? You want to be a marketing director, but let me ask you a question. What is your work ethic like to be a marketing director? Are you focusing on building people as an SMD? Are you focused on how many people on your team is, being able to go out there and make money? Guess what? Your team work ethic is all based upon your work ethic. Let me say that again. Your team work ethic is all on you. Because if they don't see you go to work, they won't go to work. I have a team. We're doing 75 hard right now. Let me tell you something. That challenge is not a physical thing. It's a mental thing. I have about 18 people doing this challenge, right? And here's the deal. Anyone that quits, guess what? They get to change their first name to Pansy and last name Itis, all right? Pansy-itis. But guess what it does? It pushed them every single day. 6:30, 5:30 in the morning, everybody's up and working. For the next 75 days, do you know how their life is going to be changed? Do you know how bad their life is going to change because of this challenge? And they don't want anybody to see them being a pansy? Well, guess what? That's their new identity once they come out of this challenge. That's their new work ethic. Now they know they did it for 75 days. There's no reason why they cannot continue doing it. But a lot of people are afraid of challenging their people because they're afraid of challenging themselves. You're afraid of starting a challenge because you're afraid that you will not complete the challenge. So I challenge you to increase your work ethic. Push yourself to the limit. You cannot have a big vision when your potential is you're thinking very small. Expand your vision and your potential will expand. You can't have a big vision and your potential and your work ethic is so small. You can't want big wins in WFG if you're not willing to put in the sacrifices. Some time away from family, right? Some time away from family. Your daily habit generates activity. I'm very big on activity. I run a minimum. I did this for Nikki and Don. I wiped out my entire schedule today because I'm up from 6:30 in the morning. Workout is done by 8:30. I'm on my computer by 9, right? In San Diego, it's already 6. So now guess what? I'm already on the phone before everybody else. I got all my calls knocked out by 9, 10 with my assistants. And then guess what? After that is setting up a bunch of appointments. I'm on a minimum of at least 10 appointments per day. And 3 of them has to be money-making activities. I hope you caught that. I'm on a minimum of at least 10 appointments per day, and 3 of those are money-making activities. Here's the deal, though. Ask me how many appointments my team are on as well. A minimum. I have over 25 CFTs, and a minimum of at least 15 are on at least 3 to 5 appointments per day. Why? Our daily activity, right? It comes from our habits. What are your daily activity? Are you waking up at 11, 12 o'clock, reaching out to your team by 1? Are you starting appointments at 2? Are you done by 6? Some people don't even have a work schedule. Let me ask you a question. Don't Starbucks have working hours? What are yours? What are your working hours? Right? No working hours? That means you cannot focus on building a business without working hours. And some people are like, I'm an entrepreneur. Well, guess what? You work harder as an entrepreneur your first 5 years than you would as an employee. You work harder. So I don't understand how people come in and they slow down. You got to pick up speed. You got to speak. You know, I have not went on a vacation since I got out the military 17 months ago, and I didn't take a vacation while in the military. So I'm going on 3 years of working 7 days a week. 7 days a week for 3 years. Let me ask you a question. Who's going to beat me? Answer that question. Right? Who's going to beat me? Nobody. You know why? Because everybody wants the instant gratification. Nobody wants to do the overnight work. What you do in private shows in public. Because here's the deal. I went to convention and I saw Don Charlier. And I'm like, man, who would have expected to be on this call today? I did, because I knew I was going to put in the work. Right? Is the biggest thing. I'm in Eric Olson's hierarchy, and you guys know it's very competitive over there. But here's what I tell Eric. I said, Eric, I don't want you to know me from math. I want you to know me from my numbers. I want you to know me from my work ethic. Not because somebody talked about me, but I want you to know me by my numbers. So said, so done. He's like, hey, Andrea, I heard a lot of great things about you. I said, Eric, I appreciate it, but I want to shake your hand. I'm going to go away because I don't want you to know me because somebody said. How many of you guys are that crazy when it comes to your work ethic to know it's going to show up on your work? To know your leadership is going to know you by your numbers and not by Nikki coming and say, hey, well, this is such and such, right? How many of you guys are going to go put into work so you can be recognized and not chasing a title, but chasing being a titan? How many of you guys are going to go dominate your playing field so when you get to the next level, it's all game time? I dominated marketing director 6 months in a row before I took SMD. When I took SMD, my personal points was over 240,000. Personal. My team was over 350,000. So my question to you is how bad is your work ethic? How bad do you want it? Because like I said, your team work ethic is all based upon yours, and your daily habits generate your activity. What you're doing every day is what your business is going to look like. If you're not on the phone making a lot of phone calls every single day, if you're not constantly coaching your team, Saturdays is coaching day for me. I coach all day on Saturdays. Because when you play a sport, don't you got to coach? Your coach got to coach you? When are you coaching your team? My team trains every single day. We train every single night. No days off. Colby practiced until he's great, and he still practiced while he's great. So why are we, people are like, why do I have to go to the meetings? Well, do you want to be great? Then that's why you got to show up to the meetings, right? That's why you got to show up to big events. It's not show up when you want to, because then you're going to miss the nugget that you want and need to explode your business. And it's not about you. It's about the new people you bring in business, right? Super, 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 super big that you understand how important work ethic is. So I challenge you guys to understand work ethic. And now system. This is where it gets good. This is where I love it. Because a lot of people, have their own way of doing things and they want to run it one way and do things. But let me explain something to you what system will do. System will expose you. The system will expose you because all it stands for is save yourself time, energy, and money. And a lot of people like to go around and twist it and tweak it. And why would you want to do that when a system has created so many multiple six figures that you're going in doing your own thing, right? You're going in doing your own thing. And then guess what? It costs you time, energy, and money. When all you have to do is follow it. Master a system that you cannot even be there and your business is still running and you're still making that same amount of money. Can I explain something to you guys? I didn't get paid in WFG for 4 months. When I first joined, I didn't get paid in WFG for 4 months. I passed my test in 3 days. 3 days, I passed my exam. But the biggest thing I keep telling people all the time, everything you go through is for a reason. Look for the blessing in everything that you go through. Because guess what? Me not getting paid for those 4 months, and I gave up my entire market. People are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to give up my market. There's no such thing as your market. You create markets. There's no such thing as my market. I gave up I went on 50 appointments before I was even licensed. 50. Did I care? Absolutely not. And then guess what I did right afterwards? I went on 50 more appointments once I was licensed. I remember getting signed off, and the next day I went on 10 field training appointments over Zoom. So you see how everybody's going crazy over Zoom now? I was doing Zoom from the day I got in. I'm licensed in 46 states. It's your business. Take the initiative. It didn't say California World Financial Group. It didn't say New York Financial Group. It says World Financial Group. So I was licensed in 46 states, and none of my CFTs could have done an in-person training unless they got signed off over Zoom. They had to close at least $2,000 in premium over Zoom before I put them in front of someone. You know why? Because Zoom is the hardest thing to close, which is why we're doing so good. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? We've been doing this before the pandemic. Nothing changes for us. So again, people wait for a crisis to happen to understand value. We wait for things to happen to master our system. You don't want to wait to master your system. Master the system right now, because if you don't master it, it will expose you. Super big. Super, super big, which is why a lot of people can't recruit now, because they can't recruit over Zoom. They can't close because they've never closed anyone if they're not in front of them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Master your system fast. That's why we're winning the way we're winning. We're not locking in on doing one thing. You see how people only do IULs? Guess what? We have a pillar. We start from debt. We start from getting your credit fixed. We do everything. Do you know what you have in the palm of your hands? You don't just do IULs, guys. There's so much that you can do. There's so much in your hands, but we don't use it because we're so tunnel vision on one thing. Well, guess what? My team, we do a lot of things. When a new agent comes in, we ask them who are the 10 people you know that is in debt. Let's go help them get out of debt. What does that do? That frees them up to go get IULs afterwards. Come on now, right? We have so much that we can do, but we're missing the other pieces of the puzzle because we're focusing on one thing and one thing only, are the rollovers and the IULs, not knowing that you can free up so much. I don't care. I go in there, I'm looking for 5 policies while you're looking for 1. I'm getting IULs, I'm getting Bolt, I'm getting home insurance, car insurance, you name it, I'm getting it, right? So when I do that, I'm keeping my client. If you have 1 account, the client will close it out. If they have 5 accounts, where are they going? Nowhere. Run the system and run it properly. That's it, right? Master the system. Focus on running numbers. I'm very big on running numbers. But here's the deal. I run numbers smart though. All my clients, let me ask you a question. I hope each and every one of you guys on here, all your clients, it's almost 500 people on this call. I hope every single one of you guys, clients, are agents. Because if not, please put their numbers in the chat so I can call them after this and recruit them, please. Right? People want, like, why am I not recruiting? Why are my numbers not big? Did you go back in your Premier Trans and look at all your clients and see who's your client and who's your agent? And go give them an opportunity. It's the perfect time for you to make millions right now. But are you running the numbers? And how are you running the numbers? I have one client who is 4 legs deep. Referral, by the way. 1 leg, 4 legs deep in referrals. The same way how you run them as a recruit, I run them as clients. The business is too easy. But at the end of the day, we're making it complex because we're not running the system properly. It says you can either be a client or you can either be an agent. The same way how you taproot the client is the same way you taproot the agent. No difference. Run the numbers and run the numbers right. 10, 6, 3, 1. Don't invite 3 and expect all 3 to show up. Right? Run your numbers. You got to know your numbers. You're in a numbers business. Our business is all about numbers. Man, I didn't close a recruit today. How many numbers did you get? Oh, 5. Well, you're not going to close not 1 because you got to know the numbers. 10, 6, 3, 1. Right? Know it, master it, teach it, do it all the time. Repeat, 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 repeat. Constantly be running your numbers. Going on WFG polls. How many of you guys are going online and tracking your numbers and knowing where you are and having your monthly standard, your weekly standard, your daily standards, your month? It's very, very important that you understand that we are in the business of numbers and a lot of people don't master it. Some people don't even know where they are on the leaders bulletin board. Well, guess what? Whatever you track magnifies. Whatever you track, it magnifies. So if you're not tracking those things, there's no way you're going to be able to magnify your business because you're not tracking it. Guess what I track? I track everything. Like I look on this call before it started and I look at all my agents that are on the call. You know why? I need to know who show up. I need to know who shows up. When you're running BPMs, or is the first thing you're doing is looking online to see who logged into the hierarchy BPM? Are you tracking your numbers? Are you looking to see who's showing up to your weekly trainings? Right? Not just tracking numbers of WG, you got to track your numbers of your business as well. Who's showing up? How many licensed agents you have? Right now, we're sitting over 40 plus licensed agents. The goal is to be over 200 by the end of the year. Guess what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to be pushing licensing. How many CFTs do I have in 1 legs? I'm pushing that, right? You have to know your numbers, run your numbers, master your numbers. Very big, all right? Super, super important. Duplication. I'm very big on that. every month I need to be promoting out at least 3 new CFTs minimum that I train to come out. Now my CFTs is the same thing. Imagine this, having 25 people that are CFT and each one promoting out 3 CFTs every single month. We're a distribution outlet, guys, right? We're a distribution outlet. The more people you can have in the field closing as you like you are, is the better it is for you. The more people you put this in your notes, the more people you help become free is the more you become free. Say that again. The more people you help become free, the easier it is for you to become free. Because instead of you have 24 hours in a day, you have 25 people with 24 hours in a day. How simple is that? People are not, they don't want to build. Like I did an appointment this morning with a manager for the nurses, and I told her, she was like, yeah, I want to do this by myself. I said, that's awesome. But let me explain the benefits of building it by yourself and the benefits of building it with a team. I said, my biggest thing, how long do you want to work? Oh, not too long. I said, on your job, can you get royalties and residuals? No. Okay. Well, let me explain something to you. How many hours do you have in your day? 24. How many appointments can you go on for the day? Not many. Imagine if you're able to get 10 people to do exactly what you're doing. So even while you're sleeping, you're making a lot of money. Man, that makes so much sense. Now I want to go on to the other side. I want to go build it now. Ta-da. Right? You don't tell people just to do things. You explain to them why they need to do it. So after I explained it to her, she just sent me 10 brand new people. Why? Because you have to give them a reason to why they need to duplicate. You can't just tell them to do something. You got to explain to them why you need them to do it. And a lot of people don't understand the importance of that. Giving people ownership. I'm very big on that. Very, 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 very big on that. 4 months, I didn't get paid. And I tell Matt, hey, you guys can do whatever. But the minute I hit MD, I'm going to make sure that I'm running my organization. When I popped out as a marketing director, I already had 6 CFTs. So when I took over marketing director, is now I'm already thinking about SMD. Are you thinking at the level you're at, or you're thinking above the level you're at? I'm not thinking as an SMD. I don't need to be thinking as an SMD. I am already running EMD numbers, right? You cannot think at the level you're at. You have to think above the level you're at. Give people ownership. Right? Give people ownership. Guess what? I have people that run CFT training. I have people that run scripts training. We have people that do orientation training. You have somebody doing everything. More people will show up when you give them ownership. If you treat them better than their job, they will not look back at their job. If their job treat them better than how you treat them, you best believe they're going to go back to the job. Give them ownership, and give them ownership fast. Train them, teach them, and give them ownership fast. Right? Create an organization where you're giving people the ability to come in and understand that this is the leadership. You got to come in and be ready to lead, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking to open up massive amount of offices. And are you ready for that? Right? Super key. And my favorite part, right? I'm the master of closer. I'm the queen of closing. Ladies on the call, just so you know, guys, I know there's a lot of guys on the call, but let me explain something to you. Women are better closers, okay? We're way better closers than males are. I'm sorry to say, guys, but we are, right? That's why we're the #1 platform for ladies. So ladies, I want you to take this and take it and run with it, right? Master closing. It is very, and here's the deal. It's not closing with an S. It's closing with a Z, right? If you don't close, do not drink coffee, please. Coffee is for closers. So do not drink any coffee if you're not closing. I'm just kidding, right? But my team knows this. If you're not closing, do not drink any coffee. And it's closing per day. It's either you're closing a recruit, it's either you're closing a field training, it's either you're closing out an app, right? It's either you're closing out something. But every single day, you have to be closing. Every single day. Because here's the deal with me and closing. Every day you're either you're selling or you're being sold. Put that in your notes. Am I selling or am I sold? What do I mean by that? Every single day you need to be getting up and selling somebody on your goals and dreams, or you'll be sold on somebody else's goals and dreams. I'm going to say that again. Every single day you have to be selling your goals and dreams to someone, or someone would be selling you theirs. You're sold on theirs, because you're only going to get sick and tired of building somebody else's goals and dreams, right? And that's when you go build your own. So the minute you're tired of being sold on someone else's goals, you're going to start selling your own. When are you going to start selling your own goals and dreams when it comes to our platform and how good it is? But you got to find out how good our platform is. So there's the assumptive close. I assume on the spot. So let me ask you a question, Mr. and Mrs. Client, right? Right now, you're telling me that what you're bringing in right now is not enough for you and your husband, right? And you're looking for more. You're looking to retire in the next couple of years. So let me ask you a question. What would you need to allow you to retire in the next couple of years? Okay. What if I can help you on a part-time basis, bring in 2 to 6 months, right? 2 to 6,000 per month to help you lock off that retirement within the next 10 years. Is that something that you would be against? Absolutely not. Okay, what's your name again? First name? What's your last name? Do you have the card you want to pay with? Some of you guys are afraid of assuming the close. I'm not. You know why? Because I already know you need me. You don't make enough. You want to retire in the next 10 years. If not this, then what? If not this, then what? Tell me what else, right? And you have to understand everybody in the financial field needs you. Everybody needs you because everything revolves around money. Everything revolves around money, right? Which is super, 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 super important. So you have to understand when you are going in, you got to go in and figure out, are you closing them on a recruit? Or are you closing them on becoming a client? You have to know what you're going in with so you can assume the close on the spot. On the spot. You have to assume the close. So I'm giving you guys a few of my closes. Tie down close. So Mr. and Mrs. Klein, you said you want guaranteed income for the rest of your life, correct? But the vehicle you're in doesn't give you guaranteed. You said you want to own your gains, not rent your gains, correct? But what you're in is pretty much fluctuating your gains. So you actually don't own that. So here's what I have to ask you. Would you rather something that is not going to give you guarantees, right? And is not going to actually, lock in your gains? What would you want to do? Would you prefer something that's going to lock in your gains or something that's not going to lock in your gains? Something that will lock in my gains. Well, what you're in right now will not give you what you're looking for. This is what's going to give you what you're looking for. So how about we see if we can get you qualified for exactly what you're looking for? Done. Done. Pretty simple. You got to tie them down. You got to ask them probing questions throughout your closing. So when you're at the end, everything that they said that they didn't want, you tie them down on it already. So you're just locking them out at the end. That's it. It's pretty simple. Ask probing questions. I ask you what you're looking for. And the good thing with a closer, right, is that you ask questions throughout your presentation. That's a closer. You ask a whole lot of questions. Closing, right? Super big. You will know the closers. And if you're asking questions throughout, you would definitely close the appointment out. Done and done. FOMO, the fear of missing out, close. Well, guess what? This is the hardest thing to qualify for. I just had 10 people got disqualified for this. Right? Based upon your health, based upon your driving record, criminal record, I can't guarantee you'll even qualify. Oh, by the way, you are a firefighter. I don't even know if we might as well put in an application to see if we can get you qualified. The least we can do. Right? Everybody has the 401k. And who have you ever seen retire from it? Talk to me. Maybe 3%, right? You're in a slim to none chance of retiring. And is that the way you want to go? So let me show you something really quick, and I'll pull up one of our articles online, and I'll show them. I said, this is what the wealthiest 5% have been utilizing for decades, right? This is what the Rockefellers utilized to retire. What if I can get you to retire with this? It's not that I can guarantee, but we can try. And anything that your money doesn't qualify for, you should be aware of that. Here, your money has to qualify for it. Your 401k doesn't have to qualify. An IRA doesn't have to qualify. But let me ask you a question. When you're going to be a doctor or a nurse, don't you have to qualify to be one of those? So why wouldn't you want your money, your hard-earned money, to qualify for something? Let's see if we can go ahead and get you qualified. Done. Fear of missing out, right? You got to, and as I said again, I hope you guys are paying attention to my confidence. It's the same way how I go in and close the appointment. I'm not asking if you need me. I know you need me. One way or the other, I know you need me. So I'm going to close you on any one of my closing topics. And then the comparison. This is my favorite part. People are like, oh my goodness, there's so many fees, right? So many fees compared to what? With your traditional account, there's no guarantee. You have to wait till 59 and a half. You have no proper protection, no living benefits. And guess what? You don't know if you're going to end up going back to work. So that's option number one, Mr. and Mrs. Klein. Option number two, yes, your fees are higher, but however, in the beginning it's higher. There's no 59 and a half rule. You have long-term care, living benefits, right? You have proper protection, and you have guaranteed income for the rest of your life and so much more. Which one would you prefer, option number one or option number two? Option number two. I figured. So let's see if we can get you qualified. right? Compare the comparison clothes, right? You ask them what they're looking for and they tell you on the spot what they're looking for. So you got to go in with any one of these clothes to close out. And how you figure out what you're going to utilize is based upon the questions you're asking them throughout the presentation. So when you're done, you know what you're closing with. But if you're not mastering these different kinds of closes, you're not going to know what to close the client out on. And my favorite piece, last one, mindset. This is everything, okay? This is everything. This is the last one I want to talk to you guys about today. And it's super important. I saved the best for last because it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's, you know, the system, whether it's your confidence, right? Whether it's your work at whatever it is. If you truly don't understand what this means, you're never going to win in WFG. You got to have a mindset. You know what I tell people? I don't care how quick you come in business and how fast you win. Because when the rough patches hit you, can you hold on to the ropes, right? When you get that charge back, can you hold on for dear life, right? Can you hold on? That's what I call the whatever it takes mentality. Because the biggest thing here, you have to have the will to win. You have to have the will to win for me to transfer my skills. I don't work with anyone that's not licensed, right? You got to show me you want to win unless you go pass your exam, right? Once you pass your exam and you do your 117, then I know you have the will to win for me to work with you. But I'm not just going to get up and work with everybody because not everybody wants to win. Some people wants to come in and whine and complain, right? And then you're taking up so much time trying to train somebody who doesn't want to win. So if we find the people who truly wants to win, that changes everything within our business. Because now you can separate and work really hard with those who truly want to win. So it's very simple. Our business is 90% psychological, right? You got to understand people. You don't need skills to win here. You really don't. You don't need skills to win here. You have to understand the 6 basic needs of human beings. You got to understand people want to be heard. So when you go on an appointment, you talk about them, not about you. When you sit down and talk to a new recruit, you ask them what are their goals and dreams and tie in their goals and dreams with what it is that they want to accomplish within our business. So stop worrying about having the skills because you can beat anyone if you can think about our business on the psychological part. How to treat somebody who maybe, coming from a rough patch that is really good, if you understand how to work with them. And I knew why I went to the military. I learned in the military this, how to deal with different people with different mindset, different beliefs, right? Different upbringings. That's what I've learned through the military, which is why I tell you, everything you go through in life is to set you up for the bigger things in life. I had to go through the struggle of being an immigrant so that I can learn how to improvise instead of complain. I've learned to improvise instead of complain. I've learned to make adjustments instead of making excuses. Why? Because I had no other way out. I joined the military, and now guess what? It taught me how to deal with different people, which led me right into WFG, which is all about what I've learned, which is why I'm able to build a business so fast, right? And I'm just getting started. I'm still learning WFG. But the beauty of it is crossing $250,000 and I'll be at my 3rd diamond by the end of the month with no superstars because everybody on my team is a superstar. I see everybody as a superstar. So it's just a lot of people doing a little bit until they feel like they deserve more to go do more. That's when they go do more. You can't juice an orange that has no more juice in it. You got to find the ones who truly want to win and allow people to work at their capacity until they've increased their capacity. Because that's when you burn people out. Super big, super important. So I just have a lot of superstars on my team who are just doing everybody doing a little bit. Everybody. You're going to have some that do over the top and go do big things. That's awesome. But always allow people to grow at their capacity. Because guess what? When you push, guess what? Sometimes you can break. All right? So you definitely want to make sure you focus on that. Go find the right people who can max out their capacity, who's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs like myself, right? Because I'm crazy when it comes to success. You got to become a maniac if you want to become successful. I don't care if you're young, you're old, in between. If you have one more win to win, one more win than you, One. I don't care if you're 50, 60, 70, 80. If you have one more win inside of you, I tell you, go be a maniac of becoming successful. I promise you, you'll succeed. I promise. Because whatever you fight for is what you're going to get. If you don't fight for it, you're going to sit there and take whatever it is that comes to you in life. Super important. I'm very big on that. You have to have the whatever it takes mentality. Let me tell you something. I did not go to sleep for my 250. I called WFG every single day. I called my team every single day. I communicated with my team every single day until I hit my 250. And coming out of this week, I'll have somebody hit their $50,000 watch. Remember, I've only been full-time 16 months, but whatever you focus on magnifies. I'm not the only one winning in my team. I have the whatever it takes mentality to make sure those around me are winning as well. Because if you're a leader and you're going through the finish line by yourself, that is not a successful leader. If you're going through the line and a lot of people are crossing the finish line with you, now that's a true leader. When I get paid, if I don't have 15 to 16 people getting paid, I don't feel good. I don't feel good at all. Because that's what the business is about. Having the whatever it takes mentality for not just only you to win, but for those around you to win, which is why I train every single day, right? Which is why I quit my team every single day. Remember, this is a lifestyle, right? Entrepreneurship is a lifestyle. It's not something that you do on and off, right? People's futures are in your hands. So you got to have that whatever mentality to go out there and put a plan into place. For people that are not so aggressive, with people that are so aggressive, you got to split it up, right? And meet with those that you know are going to be great. And then the ones that are still working, meet people where they're at. And that's the whatever it takes mentality to have people win. Meet the champions where they're at and the not so champions yet. You give them a 5 quick minute pep talk and then pass them off to your leaders who you're pouring to every single day. Guess what? They're going to go out there and win too. They're going to write the 1 or 2 sales, the $500 a month. Everything adds up, right? And then the abundance mindset. You got to have an abundance mindset. You cannot have a lack of, man, I don't have a big team. Man, I can't recruit. You got to have an abundance mindset. You got to go out there and say, you know what? I'm going to be the biggest recruiter. I'm going to have the biggest team. It's what you talk to yourself about every single day. Remember, your mindset, your subconscious mind, you got to stand guard of it and be careful what you have enter and leave your mind. You got to be careful. As a millennial, we hear it all the time. Oh my gosh, you can do this. You could be in that business. Listen to me. Master one thing first, and then you move on to something else. Don't make $50,000 and then you're off to doing something else. You're going to get distracted. It's going to burn you out. Focus. Tune all the way in. Tune all the way in, right? Build yourself up to where you don't even have to recruit anymore. I'll go on social media and post one thing, and I got like 20 people. Hey, I have a map for you in New York. Hey, I got this, I got that. And it's all about what you post on social media. Post content, right? Post content. And you go on and you just, pretty much post your results. That's it. That's all I do every single day. It's your mindset and who you want to attract to your business. Family members who didn't support me back then, do you think I bring them into business now? No, because your intentions are not right. You were waiting for me to make money for you to join me in business. Well, I don't need you in business now, right? It's the mind. You're going to have to work and show me you deserve to be here with me now. Not because I semi-made, get somewhere means it's time for you to join me in business. You have to join me when there was no seed, no nothing, no fruits bearing or anything like that. You can't jump on the bandwagon. Now you know the bandwagon is out the gate. It doesn't work because I tell them from day one. I said, if you don't support me now, when it's done and it's built, not even put your pinky toe next to my gate because I will get it chopped off because you didn't support me back then. Don't think about it right now, right? It's super, super important. Set your standard, maintain your standard so you can actually go out there and build something on a foundation. It's required that you build your business on a foundation, and a foundation of what? Understanding the system, mastering your mindset, right? You have to have the right mindset to win big here. And I think that's a super, super, super big deal. So I challenge each and every one of you guys to know where it is that you want to go, know what it is that you want to do, and this business becomes super easy. Super, super, super easy. But at the end of the day, you first got to know why you're doing WFG. Because if your why don't make you cry, then you got to reconsider. My why is no longer retiring my mom. My why is not, to go out there and achieve. My why is to go out there and be the architect for change for the upcoming generation. How am I going to do that? Go out there and equip more people on the options that they have available. Bring awareness when it comes to money, because knowledge is the new currency. If I can get more people to read, utilizing social media to use it as an educational tool, right? Instead of people just living a life that is not true on there, get it to where people can be more informed of what's going on and what's happening. I am the architect for change for my upcoming generation. And that's my reason for being a part of WFG and coming in and winning for the ladies, right? Because a lot of ladies are like, man, you need to have a spouse. Absolutely not. Cut it out. You can go win big if you want to. It's all here, right? If you truly want to win big, guess what? Put yourself in a position to win big. Put yourself in the right environment. Put yourself around the right people. Because WFG work. WFG just pays you. It's all about how you brand yourself. You can't be coming in on Monday morning meetings and then tonight you're up somewhere partying and going crazy. Nobody's going to believe you. Nobody's going to believe you, especially on social media, right? Especially on social media. You got to think about what it is that you're doing. You got to think about how you're branding yourself, because branding is everything, right? So I hope I was able to bring some value to you guys today. I am super fired up. I am super excited. Reason being, I have the best opportunity, right? I have the best opportunity. And guess what? It's an opportunity to change somebody's life. I don't recruit people. I change their lives every single day. Any way, shape, or form that I can, I will be changing somebody's life today. And I challenge you to have the same mindset of going out there and changing somebody's life and having the right intentions doing WFG. Doing WFG right, it will pay you right. Super big. So Nikki and Don, thank you so much for having me on the call today. I'm super excited. I'm super fired up. So if there's any questions you have, I want to turn the mic back over to Nikki. You can go ahead and take it away.
We want to thank you so much. Oh my God. I'm like, and I don't hardly ever take pages of notes, and I'm like flipping pages of notes. So thank you so much for that information. I mean, that was exactly what we talked about.